Hello YouTube wise, Fifi here, coming at you today on a Thursday morning with my FUT Market Watch. Really excited to be back, getting you guys some quality content. Hopefully you think it's quality at least. But what we're going to do in the Market Watch is we're just going to go over a few things, general market advice, some insight into maybe some good investments or areas where we can make a bunch of coins. So just going to show you guys what I've been trading recently. I've been trading a lot of Pulisic's, really loving it. And I've been trading his silver because they've actually been going for a little bit higher than their gold. But of course I've been trading the gold a little bit too. Sold on some of my investments, so the 84 investments this week. Luckily, the FUT birthday came about, and we'll discuss that in a second too as that's winding down. Had some really good luck considering those squad builder challenges for the 87 players. I picked up these Hummels eventually, or before for the Bundesliga, but I sold them on then because I think that's the best time really. And the one to watches like Giuliano, I sold one a couple days ago. His price is dropped pretty far from that, but I will cover that also in a sec. Silver method right now, guys, is really OP. Definitely check out my silver pack method for little tips and tricks on that. You can definitely make some serious coin, and I'll have another episode of that out soon. I wanted to get it this week, not sure though. But let's cut back focus to the FUT Market Watch. So now we're going to look at the past team of the week 28 from last week. Let me talk about the best players to trade with during this week, and of course you have some seriously high rated overall players here, but the best players to trade for me are that Podolski. His value is only going to go up. I mean, of course, in a little bit, in a few months and stuff, it'll start going down. But right now, this is a solid card to trade if you're a high coin trader, if you liked it a lot. Next, just looking at the screen here, this Keane is going to be perfect for Player of the Month, squad builder challenges, and just squad builder challenges in general. So make sure you're looking out for him. He's probably going to be on the cheaper side of those types of players. But of course, I guarantee you that besides the fact that he's got 72 pace and a BPL center back and English, he will be relatively expensive for what you get on an 84. Subasic might be a good shout too for some goalkeepers for that high rated SBC stuff. And we are moving into the bench, and Pulisic has been wonders for me. Just a solid trader. He's around 25k. He stayed in that area, at least on the Xbox. Most of these prices I'm going to be listing are Xbox. Just want to get that back. But two really solid shouts on my bench, on the bench that are good traders are Molino and Kubo. So the thing is, these players' prices are only going to rise as less of them get on the market, because that's what usually happens after the team of the week is released. The silver informs in them are relatively low to begin with, and then they start to creep in price as fewer and fewer of them are on the market. Same goes for Savarson over here. That is just a couple players to watch out for. Now we're going to the team of the week this week. Really solid team of the week this week. Of course, I think I'd rather have last week, but I love it when team of the weeks come out like this, where they have a lot of solid positional players that you can use in your team. I mean, Quito just looks like a beast there. Look at that, all 80s. But Delaney, I'm really excited to maybe give him a shout. And on the bench, we got some great players. I love the guy from Moldova there. And then Sinclair at striker is going to be ridiculous. I love Giuseppe Rossi as a big Fiorentina fan. But let's not get into my bias. I'm going to start getting into what the best players to trade are. And so first, for the squad builders, Mario Gomez, Costil, and Zayat, I think is how you pronounce his name. Those players are going to be really solid and cheap options to pick up for the squad builders. You see DeMarco's coming in here at an 84, but the thing is, he's going to be expensive because he's got blistering pace and people love to use him in their La Liga squads. The next players that I'm looking at that are going to be really solid trade options are the Sinclair. I think he's going to have a Pulisic-like impact. He might be closer to the 40k range, but the thing is, you'll definitely be able to trade him towards the end of the week with stability. There's always an interesting amount of volatility or fluctuation in price at the end of the week on a lot of these players, so I really think he could be a good shout. And of course, look at this McLaren. I don't know, hopefully he's a well-kept secret, but I definitely plan on picking this guy up, and I think that he is probably the best out of a lot of these silvers this week that you could trade and make a lot of coins on. That could be if you want to invest in him, or if you just want to pick him up low and list them high during the week. I think that is a good shout too. I'm going to try to keep this video a little bit shorter than I usually do. I usually push it to 15, but I'm going to try to keep this one to around 10 minutes. So let's see how that actually works out. So now I just want to touch on the FUT birthday. These guys are almost going to be out of pack soon, but the thing is, there's some sweet players here. But I'm not necessarily going to talk about the FUT birthday players themselves, although just a couple of players that I've noticed that are going to be good trade material are the Blaszczykowski, the S-Fine, the Ramos and Tewao, if you have a lower, if you're at that lower end, is going to be really nice. But Muriel could also be a good shot. Although Muriel, I just have a weird feeling that he's going to get another inform. But just to touch on FUTbrithday as a whole, this is one of those times where you're going to want to sell now. This is a market that's a seller's market, and actually, never mind, that leads perfectly into the index 100. You see currently right now, as I'm giving you this Thursday morning, the market is up. When what that means is that player prices on average are up. And right now, I do think this is going to be a seller's market right now. You want to get rid of your investments now, get some liquidity in your club, and what that means is just have coins available instead of tied down in players. Have coins available because in the next week it's going to be a buyer's market. There's going to be a lull. There's going to be a drop in price after everybody has been on their high from FUTbrithday. So that's definitely something to look out for. Just wanted to mention that now, and this will be the best time to invest. If you guys want to ask me, I believe it will be right when the weekend league ends, because that coincides with the FUTbrithday ending, as well as the weekend league players always love to list their players for, and then that just snowballs into some panic selling almost. So that's going to be the best time to replenish your investments and do stuff like that. I know that it might be draining for some people selling now and then having to buy all those players back right away, but that's the time that you want to get in, because that will separate you from the rest of the market. We're going to take a look here at the special market. The inform prices right now are dropping. Of course, they peaked a couple days ago because of the FUTbrithday announcements and the squad builder challenges, but they're going to bump up. They're not going to bump up too much. So if you're looking to sell on your investments now, and if you held on to them thinking they're going to go up in price, don't expect that anymore. So make sure you're selling on those inform investments. One to watches here are really interesting. The season is winding down for one to watches, and this is one of those things where I believe that if I'm holding on to a one to watch player that's not gonna have a big inform jump or like upgrade in their card, I'm gonna sell it. Unless it's a BPL player, of course you want to keep those, because those guys, like a BPL or big time La Liga or Bundesliga one to watch, you want to keep those. But if it's the mid tier range, you want to get rid of those. And the lower tier ranges are going to be tougher too. But I mean, still have some Balis and whatnot. But the one to watch, the season's winding down, and when the season's over, it's going to be really hard for them to get informs and therefore get their upgrades. Especially with the team of the season cards going to be coming out too. A lot of these guys might not have. There just might not be any worth to these one to watches, so be careful with that. I'll discuss a couple points in a sec too about that, but the Legends market is dipping right now. I see it dipping right now, and I'm not sure if it's ever really going to recuperate. This might be the start of the FIFA where it's going to start to drag down a little. I know as I say that, you see here that it's up, but the thing is, over the past few days and stuff, I mean, you're looking at prices. Zola is down to like 230 or some 220. That's just off the top of my head. He's my favorite legend, but that's something that is really interesting to me. The Legends market is starting to dip. Of course, your high-rated legends like your Vieira, Mathau, and Best are going to be still worth a lot of coins, but the mid-tier legends, low-tier legends seem to be dropping in price. So, like I said, I want to give you guys a couple of examples of those one to watches with huge upgrade potential that could be really profitable for you. So I know that I've been investing in these Giulianos, and you saw that I had one there. His price went up a lot, and I just wanted to hedge my bet and sell one of them just in case he doesn't get an inform, but I think he will. He's been tearing up the season, although he's had a little bit of a lull in terms of play. He's definitely poised to get a team of the season, which means it's risky to keep holding on to him, because he will get it. If he does get his team of the season, then this card will be relatively worthless, because no inform will be higher than that for the rest of the year, really. But right now he has an 86 inform from that team in the group stage. If he gets another team in the group stage, so it's not an inform, sorry. If he gets another inform, it's going to be 87 overall, and his one to watch is going to go to 87. An 87 overall 5-star skiller Brazilian, that is going to be huge profit. So these are the type of players you want to invest in, and for around 37 coins, his price has dropped a lot recently. You can maybe wait a couple more days for that price to continue to drop, but that is a good shout. Next guy is Yunus Mali. This is another one of those guys. He's got an 83 inform, which means that his next inform will be around 84, 85, hopefully, and that will be a really solid card. He'll have above 80 pace, probably, hopefully 80 shooting and whatnot, but like 86 passing and probably like 88 dribbling. So that would be a really solid card. 4-star weak foot, 3-star skiller though, so that's why he's kind of low. And around 20k, this is still a solid investment if you're looking to invest in one to watch fors. And here we go. Oh, I don't know what's happening here. So this is just showing you guys a trend. I'm going to get into some general market advice now. In a couple weeks, one of the Monday knockout championships, or the first day Monday knockout championships, is involving silver players. So this is when you want to get into the ground floor for a lot of solid silver players. And so right here, this Pulisic, his price has dipped a lot, but when that knockout stage to qualify for FUT champs comes around, quality players like Pulisic that are silver are going to be in demand, and his price is probably going to spike by like 4 or 5k. So be on the lookout for that. This is another one of those cards that as the amount of him expire on the market, his price will go up. So you have to remember that about silver informs, especially players like Ninga. Of course, he has been, there's not many of him on the market. I just wanted to give you guys another example of some quality silver players that you could invest in and whatnot. You could also, if you want to, pick up some lower rated, not lower rated, non-informed silvers, such as Ninga's regular card or Pulisic's regular card for less than 2k or whatnot. And when that tournament comes around, I'm sure they'll be bumped up to 4 to 5k at least, and so you're making 2 to 3k on a card, and I still think that that is a solid profit return. So I just want to again just recap a little bit and make sure that you know that right now the FUT market is in a sell time. Go ahead and sell your investments, get some liquidity so that next week when the market is on a further lull, you can go ahead and pick up a lot and replenish a lot of the players you sold off for investments. The team of the season is looming, so I'm also going to mention that go ahead and invest in Squad Builder Challenge material that you just sold on, because there is definitely going to be some promotions like that in a month, maybe a little bit like a month and a half. So that is something that I'm really looking forward to. The silver pack method is OP, as you guys can see, and that I showed you guys in the transfer list. Go ahead and check out those videos if you want even more information about that. I also put up a marquee matchup Squad Builder Challenge prediction video yesterday, so check that out too. Sorry for the shameful plugs, but last but not least, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Leave any comments in the comment section below, any advice or suggestions on this series, or any FUT market advice that you have that you just want to share with other people. I'm always open to listening to stuff. If I made any mistakes, also go ahead and hit me up in that comment section below. Maybe just like an error section. Hopefully we don't get one of those going, but if they do, they do. Again, thank you guys so much for the support. I'm so glad I'm back doing these videos. You guys have helped me out a lot, and I'm really excited to just have some more fun with FIFA. Hopefully you guys can have some fun and make your FUT fortunes too, but most importantly, stay wise.